So Daniel will have another fight. If that's Joseph, I think he more than deserves it.
Brilliant. Take care, Eddie.
Direction we're going to go in for this next step.
Who is next? Is Moses Itauma on the horizon?
All the guys in the heavyweight division, yeah, they're all the guy, especially the one who has the belts, and you know, if the belts fragment or whatever, stuff like that can happen. Whatever way I can become two-time heavyweight champion. That's where I'm going.
Do you think you would, Frank? You're with us live. What next for Daniel?
We did offer him the fight that we did actually try to make the fight between him and Joe Parker. And unfortunately, he's injured. He has an injury, so he won't fight. I doubt if he'll fight again this year.
Eddie Hearn just exposed Daniel Dubois after rejecting fight offer from Moses Itauma. As Hearn reminded everyone, Dubois already pulled out of Parker to chase Usyk, only to get beaten and mocked for it. Now running from Moses makes him look even weaker. If AJ and Fury would struggle, Dubois stands no chance.
But Moses is a problem for everybody. AJ, Usyk, Fury, it doesn't matter who they are, but it's like, I don't really...
And let's be honest, this is pure embarrassment for Dubois. He ducked Parker once to chase Usyk, got battered, mocked, and now he's crawling back begging for the Parker fight instead of stepping up to Moses. That's not maturity, that's desperation. Against Moses, he wouldn't last a single storm.
Like, we should be championing Moses. He's brilliant, and you've still got to do that. And he made a good point, Moses, I think in the interview, he said, what other heavyweight did that to Dillian White? Can't really give him that argument, because all these great fights that he was in was 10 years ago, 8 years ago. But how many heavyweights would have done that quickly last night? Not many. So you have to give him credit, and I'm a big fan. I don't want to...
Here's the reality. While Dubois is busy running in circles, Parker is peaking at the perfect moment. Mentally sharp, physically fresh, even spiritually in sync. This is the best chance of his career. Meanwhile, Dubois looks like a man who ducked Moses and is now desperately recycling old fights.
And Joe Parker, this is the right time for him. It doesn't mean he's going to win, but I'll tell you what, he'll never get a better chance, because mentally, physically, I think even spiritually, like, you can see how happy he is in his preparation and in life at the moment, that this just might be the right time for him to become a two-time world heavyweight champion.
Duke McKenzie said it best. Daniel Dubois was handed a brutal beatdown, and the spotlight has completely shifted to Moses Itauma. McKenzie pointed out how Moses keeps crushing every opponent put in front of him. While Itauma's reputation soars, Dubois' name is fading fast after dodging the biggest fight of his career.
Defeat on how badly he gets beat down, because what you saw last night with Dubois was a beatdown. You know, everybody's talking about Moses Itauma, and rightly so, because he's beaten everything that's been put in front of him, you know, and he's starting to get a big reputation now. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see where that one's concerned, I think.
And even Joseph Parker himself knows what's at stake when he stares across at Dubois. Joseph Parker made his intentions clear. He respects a prepared fighter, but Daniel Dubois is nothing more than an obstacle in his path. After running from Parker once, losing badly to Alexander Usyk, and now crawling back, Dubois looks humiliated. Parker, meanwhile, is ready to snatch his crown.
Or you know that you're going to get a well-prepared fighter who's the champion of the world and wants to remain champion of the world. Well, my goal is to take that away from them and be champion myself.
When you say
Roy Jones Jr. highlighted Joseph Parker as the man in form, fast hands, smart combinations, and elite coaching under Andy Lee. Jones Jr. made it clear Parker looks more comfortable now than ever, and that spells disaster for Daniel Dubois. Think about it. Dubois already ducked Parker once, threw everything away for Alexander Usyk, got humbled, and then took worldwide trolling. Now, instead of proving himself against Moses Itauma, the one fighter everyone's watching, he's circling back, trying to pick up the Parker fight he once ran from. Parker, on the other hand, is peaking mentally, physically, and strategically. For Dubois, this is humiliation on repeat. He dodged the storm, got battered in Ukraine, and now returns weaker, while Moses continues smashing everything in his path. Even legends like Roy Jones Jr. don't see Dubois as the guy anymore. It's Parker's moment.
This guy right now is Joseph Parker. Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight.
He's quick. He throws combinations. He has a great trainer with him now in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a very good fight for both fighters.
Daniel Dubois talks a big game, claiming he's on another level and ready to begin his reign. But the truth is, fans have heard this story before. He promised the same before Alexander Usyk schooled him and before he ducked Joseph Parker to chase that loss. The reality is simple. Dubois' words don't match his actions. A fighter on another level doesn't reject Moses Itauma, the hottest rising heavyweight on the planet. A real champion doesn't circle back to the same Parker fight he abandoned, trying to save face. Every time Dubois opens his mouth, it sounds like damage control for a career that's been one misstep after another. If this is the start of his reign, it's a reign built on shaky ground. While Moses Itauma's rise looks inevitable, talk is cheap. The ring tells the truth, and Dubois keeps failing that test.
No, I'm just ready to fight now. It's just, let's get it on. Let's get it on now. I want to entertain the people. I want to entertain the fans at home.
Adam Smith summed it up perfectly. Daniel Dubois has never given himself the best possible chance. Against Alexander Usyk, his preparation looked questionable, his mentality shaky, and when the bell rang, it was a clear case of levels. Smith noted he lost to the better man, but that's been the story of Dubois' career. Every time he stepped up, he's been exposed. Now, instead of silencing critics by taking on Moses Itauma, the fighter Eddie Hearn himself called a nightmare for every heavyweight, Dubois is recycling an old Parker fight. It reeks of avoidance, of running away from the fight the fans actually want. Adam Smith's analysis wasn't just about Usyk, it's about Dubois' entire approach. He never looks fully switched on, and it's why he keeps coming up short. Meanwhile, Moses looks focused, fearless, and destined to climb levels Dubois never could.
It's not the way that I think you should prepare for an undisputed heavyweight championship. I can't see how his mind, surely you want to give yourself the best possible chance. That said, he went out, he gave it his best, and he lost. He lost to the better man, and it was a case of
Johnny Nelson cut straight to the reality. Joseph Parker is the smarter boxer, the one who can control space, use his weight, and pick Dubois apart. Nelson pointed out that Daniel Dubois will try to walk through Parker, leaning on recent wins to convince himself he's no quitter. But that image is paper thin. When the lights have shone brightest against Joe Joyce, against Alexander Usyk, Dubois has crumbled. Walking through Parker isn't bravery, it's naivety. Parker has the tools, the timing, and the hunger to embarrass Dubois once again. And the fact Dubois avoided Moses Itauma to take this rematch tells fans everything. Instead of proving himself against the new storm in the division, he's clinging to the past. Nelson's breakdown isn't just tactical, it's symbolic of the truth. Parker looks like a champion. Dubois looks like a man desperately trying to hide.
I think Joseph Parker's going to go in there, try and box him smart, step around the ring, use that weight to try and hold his own. And Daniel Dubois will try and walk through him. He's a young man that really and truly believes in himself now. And his last few wins have actually cemented that to say, you know what, I'm not a quitter. You know what, I've got a bit more fighting left in me. You know, all these question marks that were put above his head.
Eddie Hearn gave Moses Itauma the praise he deserves. Brilliant, dangerous, and already proving things seasoned heavyweights couldn't. Hearn reminded everyone how Moses dismantled Dillian Whyte quicker than almost anyone imagined. That's the difference between a prodigy and a pretender. And while Hearn celebrates Moses' rise, Daniel Dubois lurks in the shadows of failure. Dubois isn't getting championed, he's getting clowned. Fans still laugh about how he ran from Joseph Parker, chased Alexander Usyk, got beaten down, and is now circling back to Parker after rejecting Moses outright. It's humiliation layered on humiliation. Hearn is a fan of Moses for a reason. He's doing things Dubois could never. While Itauma racks up credit and respect, Dubois racks up memes and criticism. The comparison is brutal. One fighter is becoming a generational problem, the other is becoming a running joke. Hearn's endorsement just underlines it. The future is Moses Itauma, and Dubois is yesterday's news.
Should be championing Moses. He's brilliant, and you've still got to do that. And he made a good point, Moses, I think in the interview, he said, what other heavyweight did that to Dillian Whyte? Can't really give him that argument because all these great fights that he was in was 10 years ago, 8 years ago. But how many heavyweights would have done that quickly last night? Not many. So you have to give him credit, and I'm a big fan. I don't want to
Amir Khan delivered wisdom that every fight fan should pay attention to. Don't rush Moses Itauma. At just 20 years old, he's already dismantling experienced names and building a terrifying reputation. Khan knows that by 22 or 23, Moses will be a complete monster, more than ready for the Usyks, the Wilders, the Joshuas, and yes, the Daniel Dubois types too. The irony is glaring. Dubois is already supposed to be at that stage, yet he's running backward, not forward. He ducked Parker, lost to Usyk, and now wants Parker again rather than risk facing Moses. Imagine being a supposed world-level heavyweight and already being used as an example of who a 20-year-old will eventually surpass. Khan is essentially saying Moses will eat fighters like Dubois alive when the time comes. For Dubois, it's humiliating to be mentioned in that bracket. He's not the standard, he's the stepping stone Moses will destroy on his rise.
You know what, you don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy, you want to take it slow. Don't rush him, let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old, and that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning like.
And Tony Bellew made it clear that even size won't save Dubois from what's coming. Tony Bellew addressed the only question around Moses Itauma, size. But even that doubt collapses. When you look at what Oleksandr Usyk has done, size didn't stop Usyk from dismantling the division, and it won't stop Moses either. Bellew admitted it straight. Moses may not yet be as polished as Usyk, but his raw talent and potential make him the future of the heavyweight scene. Compare that to Daniel Dubois, a man who had every physical advantage against Usyk and still folded. That loss was humiliating enough, but ducking Moses afterward made it worse. While Bellew is pointing at Itauma as the future, Dubois is clinging to the past, begging for another Parker fight because he doesn't have the guts to stand across from Moses. It's telling when respected voices like Bellew are saying this is the future, nobody's pointing at Dubois. They're all pointing at Moses, and that says everything.
The thing that I worry about with Moses is the size. But ultimately, as we've seen now, size becomes irrelevant because look what Oleksandr Usyk's done. This guy's gone out and beaten everyone, including me. He's exceptional. So I don't think Moses is going to be as technically as good as Oleksandr Usyk, but he's the next in line. I think he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think he's an outstanding talent.
This whole saga proves the heavyweight division is shifting. Moses Itauma isn't waiting his turn, he's already forcing his name into every big conversation. Eddie Hearn, Amir Khan, Tony Bellew, they're all saying it. And the more Moses rises, the smaller Daniel Dubois looks. Pulling out of Parker, losing to Usyk, ducking Moses, and now crawling back to Parker, it's humiliation on a loop. If Dubois shocks the world, he might claw back some respect. But if Moses gets him, it could be the end of Dubois as a serious contender. One thing's certain, the storm is coming, and Itauma's name is written all over it. Are you backing Moses Itauma to smash his way to the top, or does Daniel Dubois have one last upset in him? Drop your thoughts below.